everyone, it's Matt here. Welcome back to another episode of Savant's Tech Talk. If you look at developer experience and user experience, there are many different things that you need to take into consideration. Today I'll be sharing what user experience and developer experience are and the major differences between the two. By the end of this video, you will know what the major differences between user experience and developer experience are. As always, if you have any questions as you watch this video, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoy this video or find it interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos. So what are user experience and developer experience? User experience focuses on end users and simplifying the tasks and tools that they want to complete and use, and making sure everything is easy for them to access and perform well. Developer experience is about the developers who make use of your software to implement a solution for their end users. Developers can easily use your technology within their projects. Make sure it's easy to evaluate, install, test, integrate, and maintain. While it's extremely important to focus on user experience, sometimes putting some focus on improving the developer experience can actually lead to a better user experience. By making it easier for the developers to understand and easily use and customize the features available to them to create a better user experience. Now, number one is consumer versus creator. One of the main differences between the user and the developer is the intention behind the app. The main aim of the developer is to create the application, not to consume it, whereas the user will be the one actually consuming it. Now let's have a look at an example. Let's say an e-commerce website. The main job of the developer is to create their site. They'll focus on things that matter to them, and it can be as simple as changing the product images or as complex as closing the store at a particular time. They will focus on that. So as a result, the developer experience here is based on the creation of the app or website. Whereas on the other side, the user intends to consume and use it. They'll use it to order things online, and they won't care about how all the other things work. So in technical terms, the developer will focus on the back end, whereas the user will engage with the front end. To sum it up, they will have very different end goals, tools, and tasks. Number two is the learning curve. In the case of the user experience, the developers will have to concisely explain relevant information to the user. For example, when you first open up an app, it'll likely take you on a small tour of how to use the app. So for the user experience, it's usually very simple with almost no learning curve. Whereas from the developer experience perspective, there's often a longer learning curve taking place on the back end. In much the same way, when you're creating for a strong developer experience, it's important to focus on strong documentation. But unlike when you're creating a presentation for the end user where you want to streamline it as much as possible, because otherwise they'll lose interest more quickly, when it comes to developers, you can never say too much. Include as much detail as possible because one little sentence can change their understanding. You can think of this as the developer is the chef that needs to spend time to learn how to cook a new recipe, whereas the end user is the customer simply making an order. Complexity is the next thing that differs in the experience. As a developer, once they complete the learning curve, they know how everything works on the app or website. They understand how the website is built and what options are available for them to select. When you're a developer, you can easily know where you place things. For example, if you're in your own home, you know where you've put a particular book or a particular item. Whereas on the other hand, if you're in someone else's house, let's say you're visiting a friend, you likely don't know where everything is. So when you're taking into account a developer experience, you can place more things on a single page. Whereas with the end user, it's best to have as little as possible on a single page. So for example, the admin side is usually a lot more complicated than the user side. The user experience has to be smooth with as little on the screen as possible, whereas the developer can easily search for anything they want. They prefer to have everything right at their fingertips. So therefore, some of the screens can be a lot more complex, but of course still streamlined for ease of use. Next is the updates. The user only has to worry about the delivery time it will take to get the item that they want. Whereas with the developer, it's a lot more than that. They will have to keep in mind many things such as what are the possible future updates and how the developer can do their best to tackle them. For example, there can be an element that can be placed anywhere on the screen. Let's say the developer has to add the add to wish list button. It would be more convenient for the user if the same option is right next to the add a cart button. However, the developer might have to add a sales timer right next to the add a cart button in the future. So they will prefer to either add it on the bottom or convert the button into the heart icon, indicating that the user can add the item to the wish list with this. So updates are a major part of the developer's experience. And then lastly, there's the evaluation of the user experience and developer experience. User experience can be evaluated through A/B testing, user surveys, user testing, heat mapping, and analytics software. By monitoring this data, user experience professionals can gain an understanding about what features and changes will improve the experience for their users so that they can make recommendations to the design and development team. And you can evaluate your developer experience by going and talking to the developers who use your product, running surveys, using user testing, requesting feedback, and referring to personas. Developer experience can often be improved through clearer communication, more detailed documents, better stability, improved speed, modern user interface, and more support options. So there we have it. These are some of the key ways that the developer experience is different from the user experience. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments down below. Also, feel free to let us know if you have any more points to add. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.